The year was 1942. The North African desert stretched endlessly under a pitiless sun. For months, two great armies had stared at each other across dunes of sand and death. The British Eighth Army under the command of General Bernard Law Montgomery, and the Axis forces led by the brilliant German Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox. The sands of Egypt had become a chessboard of tanks and trenches. Each day, sandstorms swept over the front, blinding soldiers and jamming their weapons. For Rommel, victory meant the road to the Suez Canal, the lifeline of the British Empire. For the Allies, defeat meant losing the Middle East and possibly the entire war in Africa. By mid-1942, Rommel's Afrika Korps had advanced deep into Egypt. Yet his supply lines were stretched thin, and fuel was scarce. The British, under new leadership, began to gather men, machines, and hope. Montgomery had one clear message for his men. There will be no retreat. We will fight here and we will win. For months, Montgomery prepared his army with discipline unseen in the desert campaign. Supply dumps, fuel depots, and ammunition were gathered secretly along the coast. Thousands of landmines were mapped. Every tank crew was drilled for the coming storm. On the night of 23 October 1942, the sky above El Alamein erupted in thunder. 1,000 Allied guns opened fire in unison, a storm of steel that shook the desert floor. Searchlights lit the sky like artificial moons to guide the infantry through the minefields. Then came the tanks. Matildas, Grants, and Crusaders rolled forward, their treads crushing the sand. Rommel was in Germany for medical treatment, leaving General Stumme in command. The Axis lines were shocked by the ferocity of the Allied attack. Smoke and dust mixed with the cries of wounded men as the desert turned into a sea of fire. By 25th of October, the battle had become a grinding test of endurance. Rommel returned to find his army bleeding, his tanks outnumbered, his supplies dwindling, his men exhausted. The desert that once favored his daring maneuvers now became his trap. Each night, the Allied infantry advanced yard by yard under the cover of darkness. The Australians, New Zealanders, Indians, and South Africans fought fiercely beside British soldiers. The noise was unending. The rattle of machine guns, the roar of engines, and the whistle of artillery shells tearing through the air. Rommel counterattacked desperately, throwing in his last reserves. But the British line held, and the weight of Allied armor began to crush his flanks. By the end of October, smoke columns rose over the horizon, Axis tanks burning like torches in the desert wind. By 4th November 1942, Rommel had no choice left but to retreat. His once mighty Afrika Korps withdrew westward, pursued relentlessly by Montgomery's forces. The desert was littered with the wrecks of war, tanks half buried in sand, helmets glinting in the sun, and the haunting silence of victory bought with blood. When Churchill received the news, he declared before Parliament, "Before Alamein, we never had a victory. After Alamein, we never had a defeat." The victory at El Alamein saved Egypt, secured the Suez Canal, and turned the tide of the war in North Africa. It was more than a military triumph. It was a symbol of resilience, coordination, and faith that darkness could be broken by courage. From the ashes of that desert, the Allied armies would go on to land in Sicily and Italy, marching one step closer to the heart of Europe. But for those who fought at El Alamein, the desert would forever whisper of comrades lost beneath its burning sands.